Welcome to Living Well. I'm so happy that you have joined us for another segment of how to live well, not only in this earth, but as we prepare for heaven. Today, we have a very special topic called immune boosters. We know that the immune system is very important to the body. And today, Edna Sankey is going to share with us just some simple, practical remedies of how we can boost our immune system. Many of us get a little nervous around this time of year because it's flu season and colds and things happen because of the change of weather. But if you have a strong immune system, we know that you can help fight back any bacteria or viruses that may try to come into your body. This presentation is for educational purpose and informational purposes only. We do not assess, we do not treat, diagnose any conditions whatsoever. What you hear on this program is going to be very interesting and informative. So you may want to take notes, but if you want to make any lifestyle changes, we do ask that you consult your physician. Again, this is for informational purposes only. It will be from personal research as well as from Bible references, maybe even personal experiences. But we strongly encourage you, if you have any questions, to consult your physician. Welcome, Edna.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Um, okay, so this is going to be from a lot of my personal experience, how to fight um, bacterial infections or to boost myself to keep myself from getting sicker. Because a lot of times you will pick up a germ, but you don't have to get it full blown deep into your lungs. You can kind of stop it at the entry points. So the first thing that I'm gonna talk about is salty water. Sometimes what I've learned for myself is if I start having an itchy nose, it's kind of irritated in my area here. And I can't tell you where I read this or where I picked it up from, but uh, put a little salt in a little water, take a Q-tip, and just go and clean your nose, go all around. After you clean on the outside, if you want to get another Q-tip, you're going to go up inside. And that salt just seems to neutralize and kill whatever's there. Um, so I didn't do this about a month ago. I was on a cruise, and toward the end of the cruise, my nose started itching very furiously, and I had forgotten about it. When I got back home from the cruise that next week, had a full blown sinus something going on. And then I said, oh my goodness, I didn't think about the salt. So when I do that and I clean my nose, it definitely helps to stop the virus or whatever, to put it in check. And if it starts up again, do it again. Just go up in your nose and just clean your nose. Um, Some of the other things that I take, which I found out quite by accident, was at some point in my life, my immune system got really low. Um, and I had the H. pylori bacteria in my gut. And I was told that licorice would definitely help with that. So I started eating licorice, but then I found out that licorice can also raise your blood pressure. And my blood pressure didn't raise, but I found out about diglycerized licorice, which the abbreviation for that is DGL. So I started taking that, and my gut got better. I didn't have any issues with my gut. What I realized is when COVID came along, that I was already taking things that would neutralize viruses. So DGL also it stops the replication of viruses. So I would pop them in my mouth, and as soon as I start feeling a little something, and it wouldn't get full blown. It would just help to put it in check. So it's deglycerized licorice, DGL. I guess I should ask everybody if they want to get a pen and paper so that they can write some things down. That's probably what I would advise you to do, um, so that you can have a good list of things to get when you are having issues. Um, Peppermint is another herb that we should have around for when we start having respiratory issues. It helps with the digestion, also antispasmodic, and it helps with headaches. And it also helps with pain. I had a coworker one night. A lot of the nurses on my floor um, are into like essential oils, and one of my coworkers, I noticed was having a lot of. She was limping, and she asked me, "You have any peppermint?" I said, "Sure, I have peppermint." So I went and got a little specimen cup and put the peppermint on some cotton balls, and I went down the hallway taking care of my patients, and then I heard a lot of commotion in the nurses station, and I said, "What in the world is going on?" So I walked down to the nurses station to see what's happening, and she was just praising peppermint. She said because she said my sciatic nerve was really acting up, and once I put the peppermint on there, it just calmed right down. Because somebody asked her, "Are you what are you doing? We smell peppermint on you," and she just started singing praises about the peppermint. And she says, "I didn't know it was going to work so fast." I'm like, "I didn't even know that either." So she was singing praises about how the peppermint helped her sciatic nerve. Um, Lavender is another herb that can be used, and I use the lavender oil. I sometimes have a little pain in my feet because you're on your feet quite a bit. And I had a bunionectomy surgery. And when I started walking, I started feeling the pain on my toe. So I got a lavender oil and just put a little drop on it, and in about 5 minutes, the pain was gone. So initially, I was afraid of lavender oil because um, when you start talking about essential oils, you hear these spiritual experiences that people have, and I'm like, that is not what I'm not into those other spiritual experiences because it's not a godly experience. And then I decided, the Lord made these herbs and He made these oils. I'm going to just use these oils. And I found out that they are helpful for a lot of other things. Lavender will also help you to relax and help you to get better sleep. It's also good for skin irritations and bug bites. We know about aloe vera. Aloe vera helps us with burns, but also aloe vera can help with your oral hygiene, oral health. My dentist has been telling me for a while that a lot of the ills that people have start in the mouth. He says if you don't get the tartar taken off your teeth, if you don't get your teeth clean, if you don't take care of the cavities, a lot of that bacteria flows down to the heart and starts issues with your heart. And it really is the bacteria load in your mouth. And I was like, oh, okay. So what I had was receding gums and gingivitis at some point. And I had heard about aloe years ago, but I didn't, really take it to heart. But then I started reading up about aloe, and then I decided I would take the aloe, take the gel, and just kind of put it in my mouth and chew it around. And I only did it that one time, and when I went back to the dentist says, "Oh, your gums are healing." I said, "Oh, okay." So I've done it a second time, and the dentist said it was actually this week that my gums are doing a whole lot better than they were, and I know it's the aloe. I know that the aloe is taking care of that. So your dental health has a lot to do with your immune system. If you put everything in check in your mouth first, then you can keep your immune system at bay um, by not having those diseases get out of hand. Ginger. Ginger is good for digestion, um, and it's good for respiratory issues. I put together ginger, pineapple, and lime. So I'll take the pineapple peel. I'll cut the pineapple. I save the peel. I might save a good thick layer of the pineapple on it. And I get my lime, so I'm gonna use the pineapple peel, slice some lime, and also chop up some ginger and put it in some water, let it boil for about 10 minutes, let it cool off, and then start to drink it. There's my ginger. Um, my my family asked me, can do you have some of that COVID juice? Because that's where I got it from off the internet during COVID, and it seems that it really does help. So there was a uh, German physician who was dealing with COVID, a COVID-like illness in Germany back some years ago, and she was married to a Nigerian fellow. And everything she did for her patients didn't work, and then soon she caught the virus. And her husband got to thinking, what would my mom do back in Nigeria? So he thought of the pineapple peel, the ginger, and the lime, and you boil it. And he did that for his wife, and it took a little minute, but she started to get well. And then she shared it with her patients, and her patients began to get better. And I'm going to tell you that when we started drinking this, we didn't have COVID. We were just trying to prevent from getting COVID. But we brought up so much mucus, we were like, what? Did you feel sick? My husband says, no, I did not feel sick at all. But we started bringing up so much mucus out of our systems that we were like shocked. I also shared it was with two coworkers. The one coworker said she knew that her son had COVID, but he wouldn't go to the doctor. So I told her about this, and he had a fever. She said he started drinking it. His fever went down. He started coughing stuff up, and in a week he was feeling better. My other coworker, I told her about it. She had COVID, and she was in Tennessee. And I told her about it, and she went and got everything, and she made it, and she drank it. And I called to check on her. She says, I feel better, but you didn't tell me that it would clean you out. So what she was saying was it cleaned her intestines out. So just to let you know, it's possible that it's going to clean your system out, and it's getting rid of all of those things that are causing you issues. Um, Basil is good. We use that in um, Italian cooking, but it's also good for it's a mood enhancer, anti-inflammatory. You start having joint pains. It's an adaptogen. It kind of helps your body to adapt to stress when you're having stress. Um, Sage is a cognitive enhancer. It's one of those herbs. It helps you with your brain. It also helps with menopausal symptoms, also helps with dental health and a sore throat and oral hygiene. Oral hygiene seems to be a big key in helping with help to keep yourself well and with your immune system. Time. Time is one of those things I never knew what time was growing up. Never heard of time. It's an antiseptic and antibacterial. It also kills fungus. It's good for closing colds and flu and acne and eczema. Um, I had a experience back in probably March. It was in March. I got this sinus issue. I couldn't get nothing to move. I had a sinus headache. It was really, really bad. And I couldn't get anything to move. I was taking all of my herbal um, things that I had gotten from my herb guy, and I couldn't get. It would feel better, but I couldn't get any of the mucus to move. So I don't know. It was the Lord that impressed me. I have white thyme as a essential oil, and I said, "Oh my goodness, I know this stuff is going to burn, but I'm going to try this." So I put a drop in my mouth, and then I got some coconut oil, which when the essential oils burn, you put one of these oils in your mouth. This is olive oil or coconut oil, and it stops the burn. And I did that for 2 days, and as I began to, my nose began to run, and I began to blow. I realized I had a sinus infection, and I had been on antibiotics also. And as I was blowing it, green was coming out of my nose. And I had gone to work because they told us we couldn't call off anymore. So I had to go to work. They would send me home, but I was trying to not be in trouble with them. So as I began to blow my nose, I said, "Oh, this is such a relief. Thank you, Jesus, for impressing me to use the time." So Jennifer has there's a video on time that if Jennifer or Emmeline could pull that up, or it was the one on it was a mucusy nostrils. Oh, no. Drink it and chew it. Dissolves mucus. If you could bring that video up. Oh, we could look at, okay. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, that was okay. Here- We can't hear it.
Let me just see if I can go
Okay.
back because I know I
Okay.
wanted to put on share sound.
While we're waiting, if those that are on, if you could put your email address in the chat, then we can send some things to you.
I am not seeing my share sound like I normally usually pops right up, but I don't see
Okay.
it. Um, Emmeline? Emmeline?
Yeah, the
Okay.
one I have up is the lemon mucus.
Well, we can look at that one.
Let me see, because I had, let me see if I can share screen. Yes. Um, oh, 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 why isn't that? Hold a second. I hit share some. Let me.
You hear it?
You were hearing it?
Yeah, we were hearing it.
Oh, okay, okay.
I can hear it.
For some reason, I wasn't hearing it. Oh,
Okay. actually was a different video. Um,
Oh, that was not the one.
yeah, it's the one I was looking for showed how it killed the lemon and the lime kills bacteria in the pond water. Um, but I can put it in the chat and then have it sent to everybody. Sorry.
That's okay.
Um, okay, since we're talking about the lemon, my lemon's a little old, but um when I wake up in the morning, I squeeze some lemon in a tall glass of warm water, and it goes and it cleanses my system out. It helps me to eliminate waste. But when I found that video, which I'll put in the chat, it also takes the mucus out of the back of your throat. And I was amazed that they use some pond water, put it on a slide, put a little, the little square plastic on top of the drop of water, and then they put it under the microscope. You could see bacteria swimming. And when they squeeze the lemon juice on the edge of the slide, immediately the bacteria stopped moving. And they also did it with lime, um, and put pond water and put it under the microscope. You could see the bacteria swimming. And then you squeeze the lime under the microscope, and immediately the bacteria stop swimming. So these are two very good things to have in your refrigerator first thing in the morning. Squeeze this in some warm water, and it goes through and it helps to eliminate the mucus out of your system. A lot of times, well, I've heard in the past that I've been told in the past that wherever there's mucus in the system, there will be disease. So you need to get that mucus from accumulating in your system and clean your system out. Um, there was a time when I would get the flu shot every year without fail. And then a couple of years, it might have been 2 or 3 years, I got the flu shot in October. And from October to March, I just did not feel well. I was like, I'm not sure about this flu shot. I don't know what's going on with me. So there was one year I decided not to get the flu shot. And then I was told about elderberry. So whenever I feel like I'm coming down with something during the flu season, I get this elderberry. It's a spray, but you can get the syrups, and you can also buy the elderberry berries. And there is on YouTube, there is a formula to show you how to use the berries and make a syrup. So by themselves, you can't eat the berries, but you have to make a syrup, and it keeps the flu. It stops the virus from replicating. Also, anise, ANISE, is another, actually, it's in the medication Tamiflu. Tamiflu is what they give the patients in the hospital for the flu virus. And I looked at looking up the ingredients of Tamiflu. I'm like, oh, anise, let me go get this. And you can just buy it at Walmart. It's in a little bag like this. And you can just boil it yourself and drink it. And it helps, eliminate the flu. One of those years when even though I got the flu shot, I still got the flu, and I could not make the mucus move out of my chest. It came out of my sinuses, came from the back of my throat, but I knew that I hadn't coughed up anything. And this sounds weird, but I could feel my lungs itching. I'm like, this is not good. I've got to do something about this. So I was working 2 jobs at that time, and the lady in the library came by. She says, Edna, my neighbor seems to think that I'm the place to dump off grapefruits. He had an abundance of grapefruits. Would you like some? And I said, yes, I'll take some. So I started eating grapefruits, and I started coughing up mucus. It was so thick that I was like, oh my goodness, I never would have got this out. And so she asked me about a week later, would you want some more grapefruits? And I said, okay, Lord, thank you. So I got another big bag of grapefruits and I still wasn't through. So I lived next to a gentleman who has an orange grove. And I was like, I don't know, where should I get some grape? Oh, why don't you ask your neighbor if he'll sell you some? So he sold me a big tall bag of grapefruits, and it took 3 times to eat the grapefruits to get that mucus out of my lungs. So grapefruits are very good for moving mucus. Also, if you need to move mucus, you need to get your garlic, your leeks, and your onions. Make a broth, boil these together. I put more water in it than I do the onions and garlic. Sometimes I'll throw some vegetables in there, but I'm mostly drinking the broth. This will also get rid of mucus in your system. So sometimes that mucus gets really thick and you can't move it. This will help. Grapefruits will help. Oranges, lemons will help. Um, God has made an abundance of things to help us, and we just don't really realize that they're there sometimes. Also, pineapple. I found out about pineapple with the sinuses. Pineapple clears out the sinus. But years ago I was buying the pineapple Del Monte Dole in the can, very tangy and very sweet and tangy. I love the taste. Then I was reading and reading and reading and found out the reason it was so tangy was because it's pulling the aluminum out of the can. I was like, oh my goodness, Lord help me. I need some pineapple, but not that. So I ventured over to Trader Joe's and they sell a pineapple juice in the carton. And that's what I drink now. I drink a lot of their pineapple juice. And if I start feeling nasally, I'll drink that and that helps. Also, as I've gotten older, I started having these joint pains. Pineapple was helping my joint pain. Pineapple and also papaya. Papaya and pineapple together helps with the joint pain and inflammation. Okay. Turmeric, it may look backwards in the camera, but turmeric is another herb that I use to help with the joint pain, and it definitely does help. Um, and I'm just going to backtrack a little bit here. Sometimes when I'm having the cough and the cold, a friend of mine told me about this cough syrup that she made. And we were off for maybe about 5 years, and one day I got really, really sick. I said, "Can you tell me about that cough syrup you make?" She said, "Yeah, come on over." So I went over, and she gave me this cough syrup. It's honey, lemon, eucalyptus, and vegetable glycerin. And I made it, and I just make it and keep it in the refrigerator. She gave it to me that one day. The next day, I was good. I felt so much better. I was able to cough and get all of these things out of my system, out of the mucus out of my system. Um, I also have incorporated pomegranates into my diet. Um, I didn't realize how medicinal this little plant, this little fruit is, and it's good. It's good to prevent strokes. Um, it's good for the neurological system. And if you feel like somebody's having a stroke, you can quickly give them some pomegranates, and it helps. Um, so I've incorporated this food into my diet. I'm 56, and my husband says I have joy. I also incorporate a lot of onion in my diet. So there's the purple, the yellow, and the white. It is said it's best to eat you can make soup and cook with it in the seasons of food, but it's best to eat it raw because you kill the enzymes when you heat up the onion. And also, the best onion is the purple onion because it has ingredients in it that this one doesn't have, enzymes that this one doesn't have. So I found myself slicing an onion, putting it in between bread, put some other salads in there, and I just eat an onion sandwich. I know that sounds weird, but it really does. It goes up in your sinuses and cleans them out. The next best onion is the white onion. It has different things in it than the purple onion, but altogether, onions are good for your health. Um, your green leafy vegetables, your kale, is a good thing to eat, and it's good to eat them raw. I had a friend that, you know, Black Southern people eat a lot of collard greens, and she's from Jamaica, and she was a dietitian, and she says greens are good, but you guys cook them to death, and you cook away all the enzymes. And I started laughing. I'm like, okay. So she says, make a collard green salad, and I'm like, ah, I don't know about that. So eventually, I ended up making a collard green salad with tomatoes, and that's just like a regular salad. I was surprised as to how good I felt afterwards. And you feel the burning in your system. It was, it's not a uncomfortable burning, but you feel like something's working. This is doing something to me. It makes me feel good. So now I have little greens that are close to my door. I have like a little garden on my front porch, and I just stick some greens in there, and they end up reproducing for me. So as I'm going out the door to go to work, I'm popping greens and putting them in my mouth. I do also do that with beets, the beet roots. You can put them in soil, and you can grow the beet root, the beet greens, and I pop them as I'm going out the door, and I put them in my mouth. And you feel the difference. It's like there are enzymes inside of these greens that are working for your system. So it's helping to keep your immune system going. I actually, um, I can tell the nights that I don't eat the greens, I don't have energy. But the nights that I do eat the greens and a lot of green leafy vegetables, I have lots of energy that night. Also, carrot tops. When you stick a carrot in the soil, you can eat the tops of the carrots, not the green top, the vegetable part, and it has a different enzyme in it, and it just really goes right into your cells. You've heard of photosynthesis. I was trying to find a video on photosynthesis that talked about cellular respiration. Exactly what the plants have is exactly what our red blood cells need. It's the same molecular structure, but it's in a different position. So we give the plants carbon dioxide, and the plants give us oxygen, and that helps to keep your immune system going because you constantly got these enzymes and these glucose and the energy going through your system. It just helps to make you feel better and gives you energy. Um, I found this ginger turmeric tea when I have joint pain. It's by the Badea group, and it definitely helps with joint pain. Okay. Peppermint tea I use when I'm having some digestive issues. And I get the peppermint tea that is, it has spearmint and peppermint. Peppermint sometimes by itself is a little strong, but when you put the spearmint in there, it just is kind of soothing to your digestive system. So it definitely helps, and it helps to get rid of the gas and flatulence that can build up in your system. Let's see. I've discovered recently, because my husband has blood pressure issues. I'm trying to work with him to get him to take some natural things, and because I know that he felt that some of his parents' issues were the blood pressure meds they were taking, and he doesn't want to take them. But then it's kind of uh, I'm trying to get him to work with me so I can, we can do this naturally. So we are using hibiscus tea is one thing that helps with the blood pressure. The garlic, but I think with the garlic, when you burp it up, he doesn't like that. But he's kind of getting used to knowing that he needs to take the garlic. But I've discovered cinnamon. Cinnamon relaxes the blood vessels. And there's two types of cinnamon, which I didn't know. I'm trying to take it out of the bag. There's one that is the cinnamon sticks. It's just one. I'm going to see if I can bring it close. It's just one layer all the way around. And then there's another cinnamon stick that has multiple. I can't get it open, but it's more flaky on the inside. It's not just one. Let's see, I think I got it. Yeah, it's more flaky on the inside. This is the cinnamon that you want. One is cassia, and I can't remember the other one's name, but when you go into the store, when you're looking for cinnamon, you're going to look for the sticks that are more flaky on the inside, or it has multiple layers, not just one rolled layer. This one is better for you. So it relaxes the blood vessels. And in relaxing the blood vessels, it also will lower your blood pressure. Um, what time is it? Okay. Um, so those are a lot of the things that I've used to help with my health. Recently, I had an injury on my ankle. I ended up going to the ER, and nothing was broken. But I have a book on essential oils, and I looked up the essential oils to see what I could do to help with my ankle because the doctor said it was probably a tendon that it got pulled. So I put lemongrass on my ankle. The next morning or two, it felt a whole lot better. So lemongrass is good for like soft tissue injuries, especially on the joints. Marjoram is another essential oil that's good for soft tissue injuries. Rosemary can be used for as a memory enhancer. You feel like you're getting more forgetful, start drinking some rosemary, and it definitely helps. Um, lemon balm. Did I say lemon balm before or lemongrass? So there's a
Yeah, I think it said lemongrass. Yeah.
okay, so lemon balm is one of those herbs that is a mood lifter and it helps with stress. It also is called Melissa. It helps with herpes simplex. So if you get a fever blister, you can get some lemon balm or Melissa, which is the same thing, and that helps with the herpes virus. Echinacea um, actually boosts white blood cell production, so that's why they tell you to take echinacea when you get sick. Um, I do know with echinacea and also golden seal, you can't take it more than 2 weeks, or you would definitely get joint pains. And I did experience that. And I was like, why am I hurting so much? And then I realized I had gone over the 2 weeks, so you have to be careful with those too. Parsley. Parsley is a herb that flushes toxins from the body. Cilantro is a detoxification of heavy metals out of your body. Dandelion is full of vitamin A, C, and K, and it helps with the liver, protects the liver. Calendula is an herb that helps with skincare and it heals wounds and it helps with rashes, hydration of the skin, and firmness of the skin. That was something new that I learned looking this up. Oregano is an anti-inflammatory and is good for respiratory problems and pain. So with oregano, during COVID, it was recommended that you take like 10 drops of oregano in a glass of water. But the 10 drops was too much for me. So I put 5 drops in a cup of water and I seem to do better with that one. Because it kind of burns. So if you need to take some coconut oil after you drink the oregano in water, that'll help with the burning. Oregano also, one night I had used my massager and I fell asleep on it and I had really irritated my back. So when I woke up, my back was throbbing. So I immediately got up and went to the internet to find out something natural for pain. And what I kept coming up with was oregano oil. So I got some oregano oil and rubbed it on my lower back. Um, it started to burn, so I got coconut oil and put it on top of that. Um, and the throbbing went away, and I was able to go back to sleep. So oregano oil is good for pain. Fennel is good for digestive discomfort. If you have irritable bowel disease or colic, you can use fennel. Um, Fenugreek. Fenugreek is good for if you have a sinus infection or a sinus issue that you keep your sinuses keep running and running, you're blowing and blowing and running and running and blowing and blowing, and you think you should be over this thing and it's not. My herb guy was telling me that he had a formula with fenugreek in it, and what it does is it heals the sinuses. I was like, okay, so he gave it to me, and within a day or two, my sinuses were healed. There no more blowing of the nose, no more running. Um, Astragalus is an herb that's good for the respiratory system. It produces white blood cells and reduces stress. My oldest daughter had asthma up until she was about 12 years old. And we were going to camp meeting one year, and I couldn't get to the doctor her to get medicine for her, but I had discovered astragalus. So I had astragalus capsules and I gave them to her and watched her. She didn't have any flare-ups. And she hasn't had any issues since with the asthma. I was like, oh my goodness, I could have been using this all the time, but I didn't know. And I went back and looked at babies that are born with meconium. So she was in distress when she was about to be born, and the meconium had gotten into her lungs. And I found out the years later that it was because of she was a meconium baby that those babies usually come down with asthma. And I was like, I had no idea. So I gave her that astragalus, and she hasn't had any issues with asthma, to my knowledge, since she was 12 years old. So astragalus is a good herb to have. And that's spelled astragalus, astragalus. Um, and that's about it that I have to share. I'm going to turn it back over to Jennifer and Emily.
Thank you, Edna. What an
Welcome.
informative presentation. I always enjoy hearing you present because you do a good job with researching information and really bringing some useful tips. You know, these are really practical things that we can do, and they're affordable. lemon
Yes.
limes, you can buy those in the store. Salt water with a little
Yes.
Q-tip in your nose, that can work. Um, Aloe, like you said, being able to use that. Even I love that you brought in about the dental, how our dental hygiene
Yes.
is so important as it relates to our immune system and how well we are.
Yes.
Because sometimes it does
Mm-hmm.
start in the mouth and it moves down into the body if we do not have good care of our dental hygiene. So I really appreciate that. There was one question in the chat. It pertained
Mm-hmm.
to something good for circulation. And I know we were talking mainly about the immune system today, but I don't know if you have something that you could respond to about what helps
Cayenne.
for was that cayenne?
Cayenne is good. Yes.
Okay.
Cayenne is good for the circulation.
Is that powder?
Uh,
Is that pills or either or?
it's um you could probably try capsules
Mm-hmm.
because it does have a burning sensation, and if it's in a capsule it gets down in the gut, you don't have as much issues with it, with the burning. But yes, cayenne is good for the circulation.
Okay. That's
Um
good to know. Any other questions for Edna? I know we're wrapping up, but would love to give you an opportunity if you have a question or a comment that you'd like to share with Edna.
Yeah, this is Edna. This is Emily. Thank you, Edna, for such informative, information you gave today.
you're
Um,
welcome.
that circulation cayenne, I was reading Dr. Barbara O'Neill. She was talking about cayenne poultice.
Hmm.
To use it for like with some castor oil, mix it up, the, sprinkle some cayenne pepper. And if you have circulation problems like in your leg, you can put it to the sole of your feet and tie it up, and it helps with circulation. So
Hmm.
that's
Okay.
so that's good. And thanks for sharing that astrologus. Yes, because yeah, my daughter had that same problem because when during birth she she had swallow meconium and all of that, and she always has an issue with her lungs. So I'm going to
Yes.
look for the capsule. You said you did a
Yes, I got it in a
capsule,
capsule.
right?
Hmm.
And so she can take it because twice or so a year she having some serious, respiratory problems. She's even on
Mhm.
a emergency inhaler
Okay.
because yeah. So thanks for that information.
Oh, you're
Now that
welcome.
yes, the basil you said, I love the idea that is a aptogenic. So was it a tea you made, or was it is it in a capsule? How do you take that basil?
I sometimes I just take a leaf and just
The
chew
leaf?
on it. Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
it comes in many forms, so whatever form works best for you,
Okay.
you could try it and see which works best, because everybody's body's different.
Yeah.
So,
Truly the herbs are for the healing of the nation.
Amen.
It's
yes.
it's so it's we have proved this over and over and over again that herbs are for the healing of the nation, and to know that medications are made from some of these herbs like
Yes,
digitalis.
they are.
Yeah,
They
I
are.
when I was doing my studies, I ran across that study with hibiscus, and I can't
Mm.
remember the name of the blood pressure pill they use, and
Well,
they were doing a study comparing how it helped with blood pressure,
uh-huh.
hibiscus tea and
Mm-hmm.
this blood pressure pill, and the hibiscus was just as effective using
Mm-hmm.
a blood pressure pill. I think they were doing like 3 bags of hibiscus.
Oh,
Right.
three of the tea bags.
Yes. Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
that was the this research that they were doing. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when I was working in the hospital, we use um Nosin. There's this thing medication called Nosin. You can get it over
Mm-hmm.
you can order it from Amazon because I did. Nosin.
Mm-hmm.
We gave it to
Mm-hmm.
our
Okay.
patients who had surgery. Any patient with surgery or had a PIC line, any kind of central line in, we use that Nosin because what we were finding that patients was having blood, borne infection because
Mm.
they were, because of the catheter or because of, the immune system breakdown due to surgery or what have you. And we
Yes.
start using that Nosin. And what nosin was made of was cotton, coconut oil, and a citrus. So
Oh,
citrus is
wow.
very, yes. So citrus is very powerful. And when we had COVID, everybody was using nosin
Okay.
because it helps to trap bacteria and so it won't get into your lungs, get into your system. So it's just marvelous. Yeah,
Wow.
if we look at it, any problem that we have, we basically can go to nature and
It's
solve that
true.
problem.
Um,
Thank you,
there
Edna.
were there were I believe it's parsley, and I can't remember the other herb, but it was just as effective as procardia. I think it was
Oh,
a beta calcium blocker. And
mhm.
there's another herb out there that's just as if I was like, wow, why can't people
Wow.
just eat broccoli? But they won't tell you that because they're not making money off of it.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
You
I saw
know,
Jackie's hand. I'm sorry,
yeah. Go
Jack.
ahead.
Jackie had her hand up.
Yes. I want to go back to the sage. How do you take that? And I forgot what exactly we were using. You were using that for the sage.
Okay, let me go back to my notes here.
Yeah.
Okay, sage. Um, it didn't really say. I have just taken leaves out of my garden and just chewed on them. It's kind of a strong taste, but it it just is for antioxidant, for cognitive enhancer for your brain, help you to think better, menopausal symptoms, dental health or oral hygiene, and for sore throat. So you can
Oh,
also make a tea out of sage too. You could just get a few um like leaves and drop it in some water and boil it and drink it. I haven't done it that way before, but I know that there's a lot of sage tea out there. People talk about sage tea, but I have actually just plucked some leaves and chewed them in my mouth, and probably the tea would probably be a little bit more pleasant.
Any other? Oh, Linda, I see your hand.
I'm sorry.
I was just wanting to ask Emily. I didn't quite catch everything she said about the circulation to see if she could repeat that for me.
Yeah, I was saying that Edna did mention that you can take cayenne pepper. And I also was listening to Dr. Barbara O'Neill, and she was talking about cayenne pepper for circulation. And what she did, she made it into a poultice. She, took a piece of a cloth and she soaked it with castor oil and then sprinkled the cayenne pepper on it. And I guess this person had some leg circulation, I guess, and she put it on the sole of their feet and wrap it so to help with the circulation. So I'm not sure the circulation is because it's leg circulation or the generalized circulation issue. So I was just giving another take on how you can use it too, besides taking it as a pill.
Good question.
Okay, thank you.
I have an additional, the cayenne is also good for immunity too, as well. So, like with the drink, I like spicy though, but with like the pineapple, lime, and ginger, if you add a little cayenne to that, that is also
Oh,
good for
okay.
immunity.
Okay, thank you.
Well, this has been great, Edna. I really appreciate you sharing this information. I love the passion that you have for health and wellness and that you like to try natural things, and certainly sometimes you have to use the pill and until you can get things under control. But if you
Yes, you
can
do.
find something natural that will have a quick response for individuals, certainly God has given us everything we need to live healthy,
Yes,
everything.
yes, he
So
has.
we don't have any excuses. We're not taking care of our body the best way that God will want us to take care of our bodies. And knowing that we're made in the image of God, that's what makes it even more important that we care for our bodies as His temple.
Dr. Jennifer,
Yes.
I, One question, if let's see, I think it was pineapple juice and ginger mixture. If you could recap for me real quick, what is the mixture?
So slices of when you cut up a pineapple, don't throw the peel away. Save the slices, the peel. Save the pineapple peel. Put it
Okay.
in water. Chop up some ginger. Put it in the same water, and then slice some lime and put it in the water. Sometimes if I have a juicy lime, I'll squeeze the juice in there. I'll boil it for about 10 minutes. Let it cool off, and then drink it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great question. And all of those are things that we can find in the store, and we don't have a
Yes.
prescription for it. So that's great. Excellent. Emily, any final words before we close out?
I was just looking in the chat. Someone put, I guess that cinnamon that you were talking about with the several rolls is called what? Ceylon, Ceylon.
Yes.
Yeah, someone put it in the chat here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Ceylon. So that's the better cinnamon to take. The one that we use, for baking and stuff that we find frequently in the grocery store is, from what I understand, is not as good as that Ceylon.
Right.
All right. Well, we are
I think
out
they
of
said to go
time.
to an Indian store, because I think it grew in India or something like that. But
Okay.
you might not find it in your regular grocery store. You might find it in like Indian store, grocery store.
Great. Thank you again.
The one I have, it's the Badea brand, and it does say Salon on the. And I have found, where did I find this? Wherever you find the Badea products, and sometimes it's your West Indian stores or Indian store.
The West Indian store. I see that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you all for staying by for this very important information on immune busters. We're really glad that you came on today. And Edna, we would love to have you back another time. I know there's more topics that you have. I love that you say that your kale is right by the door and you can pinch off a piece on your way out the door. And so sometimes we have to put our food and medicines in an area where we're going to be more likely to take them in. And so that's what it sounds like you've done, is actually put it in the accessible place so that you'll remember to make sure that you get the nutrients that you need. So thank you very much for being here. We're going to stop our
You're
recording.
welcome.
We will take per request.